And we're live. Hi.
Hey,
Hey,
Good
what's
morning.
up? How's it
hello.
going? Good morning, people.
Hey. I'm so tired, everybody. I am so really
Good.
tired. We're on
This,
half a cup
this,
of this coffee. We'll see how it goes.
this that energy y'all getting for the entire show. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual. I am one of your hosts, Noir Enigma. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Enigma. And we have with us, we have also Anita, who is
Yeah,
the
hi.
other guest.
Guest?
Help. No,
Host?
host. God.
One of the
I,
words.
oh boy, here we go. This is gonna be a fun one.
Hey, the wheels stayed on the train for a full 45 seconds. I'm very proud of you.
We did actually get through. Are you just rocking a mustache?
Uh,
AJ
oh,
wants to know if you're just rocking a mustache.
um. So I got what people in the business call powerfully drunk last night, and then I woke up with this on my face, and we just gonna live with it. We just gonna accept it.
It's not a bad look.
Well, I appreciate
You
that.
actually rock it pretty well.
You know what? Here, let me just give it to the people. Surprise, motherfucker. There you go. There you
Mm,
go. Take that.
mm.
Take that. Hold on to it. Dad, no art. Don't do that. Don't do
Oh, yeah.
that. I thought I could. I thought I could sneak by with this mustache if I just had powerful confidence.
With AJ, you do have powerful confidence. You rock that mustache. It, Father, please. At least you didn't say daddy, please.
Oh my lord. So anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to this episode. I am one of your hosts, Noir, with the other host, Anita.
That's me. Hi.
And we don't no, we're not doing this, audience. And we have with us a wonderful guest today who's got a front row seat to this train wreck today. Hey, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, Josh?
Hey, Nora, thanks. My name is Josh. I'm a freelance tabletop game designer. I am a variety streamer on my own channel. I play a lot of Stardew Valley, some Idle Champions. We occasionally do like D&D design live on stream. And I'm also the assistant director of ambassadors at Jasper's Game Day, a nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming for the cause of suicide prevention. If you want to see me doing tabletop gaming stuff, you can join me on Friday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the Rock Punch ATL Twitch channel, where I play in a game using the Islands of Sina Una supplement run by one of the co-directors. If you're not familiar with Sina Una, it's all pre-colonial Filipino mythology. Super cool. Some really innovative game design stuff in there. Yeah, and I don't think I shared the social medias, but Joshua M. Simons, that's me.
If I'm not mistaken, Suna Una. Oh God, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but it has a pretty dope actual play with a stellar cast.
Rumor has it that that is true, and you can find it on Fridays.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a couple of shows I think using it, but it's pretty cool.
Oh well, if I could be mistaken, so that's what I want you to check me on. But I believe that the cast includes one HTTP Paladin,
Yep.
one Latia,
Hmm.
uh,
One whole Latia. Wow.
That's a lot of that.
I
That
have to
is
check
a single
myself.
unit of Latia.
You know, one whole Latia is a lot more than one half Latia.
That's true.
Good
And
morning.
if you have two Latias, you've got a problem on your hands.
As someone who went to high school with Latia, I guess you could attest to that.
You know, I have to tell you, like Latia, as she is now versus what she was in high school, is day and night. It's wild. But let's
Latua
see
salad, really?
what.
Salad through a Latua instead of a Latia in chat.
Jesus.
Look, that actually works remarkably well.
I don't know if she would appreciate that or kill you.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna use it, but it works well with the name.
But yeah, like, I'm trying to remember because I watched a few episodes and it was really good. There was Paladin, who I believe was GMing,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I love whatever Paladin GMs. Uh,
So
uh, then you have Latia, CB, Lord Almighty, I can't remember.
well, we just switched between season 1 and season 2. We had Mackenzie in season 1, Mackenzie Landarmus, and now we've got Lucia. The primary director on the Cena Una project has kind of filled that spot, which we're super excited about. She makes dice and all kinds of stuff. Has a TTRPG store online called Seer Sword.
That entire squad is insanely talented. I have to ask, what's it like watching a game that you designed be played like by just such a stellar squad? Like that's gotta feel good.
I can only imagine. Like there's got to be so much pride anytime they actually see that game being played because it's so good.
Yeah, we had Wasa on the show in our first season, and they're so amazing. I love them so much. It was a joy talking with them about Cena Una and how much it meant to them to be able to design a game that like reflected their culture and reflected like the anti-colonialism version of their culture.
Yeah. There was a really beautiful forward in the book, and I think hard copies, which have been pre-orders up until this point, are actually being shipped out in the near future.
Nice.
Maybe. But there's a really beautiful forward that I know that a lot of folks who are members of the diaspora, when they like read it for the first time, like we're just bawling at like how accurately it describes kind of that experience of like belonging, but also feeling that sense of not belonging and living in that tension. And being able to like reclaim your culture. It's really well done.
I love that this is a trend. Well, not a trend, but I love that this is something that is emerging in the game space. It's refreshing, and it's such a different. It's so different that it feels healthy. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. We have Banana Chan coming, I believe next week.
Next week, yeah.
And they developed an entire game about like restaurants and vampires. Like I just in their culture, and it's just I love where game design is going. And so as a freelance game designer, I have a few questions for you, which is, do you prefer to start your own projects off, or to join existing projects and to kind of work to realize an idea that was established by someone else?
Yeah, I've done both. I think I have the most fun, so to speak, when it's something that I'm working on, because 9 times out of 10, if it's something that I've come up with, it's just from like a shit post that I went, wait a minute, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that now.
That's how this morning show started, so it's not a bad thing.
But I've got something in the works that I wrote with a friend, and I'm in the works grabbing some artwork for it, but it's going to probably be coming out in the next month or so, which is just a collection of like kind of strange new, like almost memey oozes and gelatinous cubes type monsters. And so like there's one in there that's called like the Oozix cube. It's a legally distinct cube with different colors on the sides that does different types of damage based on which side it hits you with.
It's a flipping color match cube.
Exactly. That's what it is.
I kind of love the idea of that, and it's like a prismatic ooze. Like, so you never know where you're gonna get hit with. Funny enough, I'm also working on a ooze, a gelatinous cube project.
Hell yeah!
I'm writing a concept album for Bob, the lawful good paladin gelatinous cube.
I love that. Yeah. The big kind of final piece that fell into place for this one that I'm working on is like a playable ooze character race. So if you want me to send that to you,
Yes!
I will give you the early access sneak peek, and you can take a look, and if you want to use that, be my guest.
Yes, I very much want to make Bob the gelatinous cube lawful good paladin.
Excellent. I will have that on your desk after the stream.
So look, another thing that I want to ask is like I feel like a lot of designers they fall into one or two camps, which is designers that have just created so much that the wealth of creations is kind of their signature, or designers that have created a bunch but they have like a signature game or something to that effect, something that you think of it and you immediately go, oh, that's that person. um so my question is like, which camp do you feel that you fall under, and if you
Yeah.
do have a signature project, what do you think that signature project is?
Yeah. I think to date, the signature project is the one that I did a little over a year ago with Mage Hand Press, right at the start of the Panini Press. We kind of got together with the folks over there, and I said, "Hey, wouldn't it be really cool if like we released an adventure that was basically written, and all the proceeds went to a charity to help with the ongoing." Waves arms vaguely. And so we had a chat about it, and they were like, yeah, do it, take it, run with it. And so we wrote The Dragon Flu Pandemic is this like 23-ish page adventure module where you can go stop a pandemic, the dragon flu, by going and finding a dragon's tears to save the day. And it like gives the players like a sense of like agency in a time where at the very least I was like, it's hopeless. What are we going to do? I can't do anything to help anybody right now. Right. And so it gave that like, it's like kind of cathartic feeling. And so for a while I was just like, that was, I feel like what I was known for. And I'm in the works of trying to replace that. We just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, well, this ooze project, I'm immediately drawn to the idea of a Rubik's ooze. That just is, it's fun to say.
It really is.
But legally, we can't.
Really?
That's why it's an Uzix cube.
An Uzix cube.
Oh, okay, yeah, Rubik's would be the copyright.
Yeah. I like was on stream writing that particular stat block and was like Googling on the side, like, is this legally, like, can I use that? No? Okay. Trademark.
I'm so sick of the law. There's no other way to say it. The law is just bumming me out these days. So is there I would have to wow, brain. English. Here we go. Is there a system that you prefer designing for?
I probably have the most experience with 5e. I'm pretty familiar with the rules there, but I've kind of over the last 6 months or so tried to branch out. I released a one-page RPG, kind of loosely based off of like the Honey Heist type of system, minor tweaks. So real simple, minimal, like actual like dice involved. So I've got some other stuff in the works, trying to kind of branch out, because I think the more that I like learn other systems, the better a designer I become. And so like, so for Lily's birthday party this past year, we did a game of masks on stream, which was an absolute delight. And I feel like thinking about like, how would I go about designing an adventure for masks has improved the way that I do other game design as well. Right. I recently read the Vampire the Masquerade 5e or V5 source book. Mm-hmm. And I love the way that they run combat where it's 3 rounds and you're out. And so thinking about things like that from different systems, really like whether I'm bringing that back to 5e or whether I'm taking all of that into something new, like it's just more tools in your tool bag, so to speak.
So I've only ever played the V20 Vampire Masquerade, and I desperately want to play the 5th edition. I had no idea that they had a 3-round and then you're done with combat rule. That
Yeah.
is extraordinarily cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's so great. And what it really does is it says, okay, storyteller, what you're trying to do is build something narrative here and then move on to the next story point, right? Like don't belabor the point here with rolling damage. Like you're playing a bunch of vampires, unless you're fighting other vampires. The odds are combat's gonna be over in 3 rounds anyway, so just plan for it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
Oh,
think
that's
Dee
cool.
actually stuck to that for the finale for Pale Cold Sun, because we were done the fight with the big bad in, I think, yeah, it was exactly 3 rounds. And that was our fight against the BBEG, and then it was like on to denouement and like the rest of
Right.
the storytelling. It's so good.
I am going to need to read the Vampire the Masquerade book now because that is extraordinarily cool. But on the topic of Masked, I have fallen in love with Powered by the Apocalypse and their method of entangling characters so that you don't have to do that awkward. You all meet in a bar, like
Right.
I'm starting to see what you mean by wanting to take the like learning and becoming a better designer by playing different systems. Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just I think the more things that you learn about different games and what they do well, that's just so much more. So like, my first adventure was y'all are here, go. Right, like I
Yeah.
didn't have like a really like convincing hook because I like wasn't sure how to write one. And so then you learn a little bit, you grow, you see other people do it really well on stream or something like that, and you go, oh, I like that, how can I implement that into what I do? I mean, I think with anything, like I just have like a general philosophy of like trying to learn and do better with each subsequent attempt. So yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and you don't have to give me the exact answer because I'm not putting you on the spot there. But
Okay.
have you ever had to design something for a system that you genuinely didn't like?
The honest answer is no, because I have thus far only either written things for 5e, which I generally like as a system. There's some flaws, broadly speaking, that we could talk about at some time if you wanted to. But beyond that, the only other system that I've written for is my own. So I feel like I'm obligated to say I like it. So
I certainly would. Okay, so that brings me to what is it like creating an entirely new system from scratch? Because you have to think of everything. Like,
yeah, well, and that was why I went like 1-page RPG, because I was like, if I limit myself to 1 page, then it's got to be real simple, right? And so it was just like, cool. You have a stat or 2, right? I really kind of followed the kind of honey heist method where you get like 2 general categories of types of things that you can do. And then you just roll a die to see like, is it a success? If yes, you move your modifier this way. If it's a failure, you move your modifier that way. Just kind of keep things moving around, having fun. So I mean, it wasn't like anything super complex, but it probably took like a week to really like hash out, okay, how does this work? Because I did a couple of play tests, and the first time we did a play test, they were like, this is too easy, change the die. Like, and so I like went down from a D8 to a D6, and that like made it a lot better because you got like more like a higher chance of each number being hit. And so just, yeah, you figure it out as you go.
Okay, no, I like that. I like that. The next thing that I'm wondering about is, there is a lot that goes into making a game. Like you were just mentioning, having to grab the art. What I think what I'm asking is like, what part of game design surprised you the most in terms of its difficulty, and what part of game design surprised you the most in terms of how naturally you kind of clicked with it?
Yeah. Um, So, like throughout school and whatnot, I've always been really good at like copying style in terms of like writing. I think one thing that a lot of people don't think about when they'll, start designing for a pre-existing system is like there are rules for how you write within that system, right? Like when you think about like the phrasing of certain spells or things like that, the way that it's phrased is very specific to that system, and you kind of need to like stick with that same style guide. So whatever we're working with here. Like if we use 5e as an example, when you're talking about making a saving throw in response to an attack, right? Like there's a very specific phrase that they use every time that happens. And so like you can't just hop in there and start designing and be like, so anyways, they have to make a saving throw. If they fail, this happens. If they succeed, this happens, because that doesn't like match the style. Like you can do that, I suppose, but anyone who looks at it will like know pretty clearly. They're like, okay, you're not necessarily like jiving with the system in the same way that someone who maybe is a little more familiar with or conversational with that type of verbiage is.
Right.
So that was something that kind of surprised me when I first got in. But it's also something that I feel like I was surprised with how quickly I picked it up, just because that's something that I have always been good at. So like in school, right, I was a bit of a nerd. I wrote a bunch of English papers. I wrote a bunch of philosophy papers. That was what I studied in school. And like, do I know what the hell I was talking about in half of those papers? Not really, but I'm very good at copying the kind of indecipherable German style of talking about something without actually saying anything meaningful by just philosophizing about it for 3 pages until you get to a point where you go, anyways, I think everyone else is wrong and I'm right. Moving on. That was something I was surprised by. Something that I was surprised by, and frankly, I'm not very good at, is the actual like formatting on the page, like layout is
Yes. Oh,
complex.
Oh,
There
I thought it
are
was just me.
like, I kid you not, the only reason I buy hardcover books is to just like have. So if like, okay, I'm writing like a scary adventure, right? I'll pop open Strahd and I'm like, okay, how do they like format this here? What do we how do they structure this? Because like is like there's like an art to it, and I am not an artist. So I'm like, I just need like a heading and some subtitles and it's fine. Some chapter headings, and I think you indent some stuff somewhere. I don't know. Right. Like, and,
Know when
and
to use
this
italics.
yeah, is not my strong suit at all. I literally just bought a formatting template, but on my last project, I actually just hired someone to do the layout because I was like, I know that I'm gonna see this in a week after I'm done, and I'm gonna be like, wow, I missed like 12 things. So I just don't. I'm not gonna do it. It's complicated, and something that I am working on and not great at yet.
It takes a little bit to get good at formatting. As
I
someone that
hate
does graphic
formatting
design
with
purposefully.
I hate formatting with my entire soul. And like I write using Word, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like every copy of Word that I've ever gotten is possessed by the devil.
Correct.
It's just like, you know what? I feel like double spacing now. Like, why?
The devil is Clippy.
Leave
That's
me
probably
alone.
true. That's why you can't really get rid of him. He always comes back.
You know what? We need to make an adventure just for game designers so you can finally get vengeance on Clippy.
We need a stat
That's a
block
good
on
idea.
Clippy.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna
Oh, a
think about
stat
that.
block on Clippy? A mascot stat book. I would be here for it.
That'd be cool.
Mascot manual.
The paperclip monster.
Have Tony the Tiger stats. Have the Leprechaun stats. It'd
Oh,
be dope.
Tony the Tiger's just a weird tiger. Let's face facts.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You got a point there. You got a point there.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, do you have any advice for up and coming freelance game designers? What would your advice be to the younger you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I
Drink more
think
coffee.
the first piece of advice that I would give is like whatever system you want to write for, take some time and sit down and really study the bits of it that you think are great, right? So, like, if you want to sit down and write for 5e, pick an adventure that you love and study it and dissect it and figure out why it works and what it doesn't do well. Take some time and really dig into it, because that is going to make you a far better designer on the whole. And so if you say, hey, like I want to, go write for Burn Bright or something, right? Like go find one of those adventure modules that are out there. Go find someone who's doing it well and learn from them, right? Emulate what they're doing. Because like it's something that we talked about like back when I was in school for like English classes. If you want to be a good writer, it helps a lot to study what other good writers have done, to see how they've done it and borrow from that. Because you're not going to recognize good writing. You're not going to be able to put out good writing if you've never experienced good writing before.
So, what's your favorite fifth edition adventure, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. I think the one that I've had the most fun playing personally would have been um, the Dragon Queen's Horde. It's one of the older ones. It's been around a little while,
Mhm.
but that was my first like kind of long running campaign that I played in. So I think it's like somewhat a nostalgic thing for me. I haven't gone through and like evaluated very thoroughly like is this the best adventure, but I had fun playing it. um so it's just nostalgia for me.
Sometimes that's
It's,
enough, though, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I certainly think that there is value to nostalgia because I don't know about y'all, but I never got nostalgic over shit that sucked.
That's fair.
And as corny as some of the things I'm nostalgic about are, is wow, English is hard. As corny as some of the stuff that I'm nostalgic about, I'm not gonna try it again. I'm just gonna say like it's corny, but there's something to it that is dope. Like you
Mhm.
take the you take the concept of Captain Planet. I loved Captain Planet growing up, and it's corny as hell. But there's some stuff to it that still bangs even in
Yeah,
2021.
absolutely. And maybe part of that is just finding the things that stand out as being good or being memorable or being at the very least like unique. Um, that's something that I've talked about with a couple of designers. Like when you're contributing something new, especially to a system like 5e that there's so much stuff, right? It's important to think about like what am I bringing to this space that is unique, right? Like what is something that they can't find anywhere else, right? What is your like Pikachu from Pokemon, right? There's just everywhere, right? Like if I walk up to an old lady on the street and I say, "Hey, do you know who Pikachu is?" She's gonna be like, "That little like yellow rat thing from a show. I don't know," right? But people know who Pikachu is who've never watched Pokemon.
Is that one of
So
those
like,
Pokemans?
yeah, that's what it is.
Like, I mean that is true. Even my grandma would feel like, "Oh, that's one of the Pokemans." Um,
Yeah.
so, so let me ask you, what is? I've already asked you what your signature creation. What is your favorite though? What is the thing that you're just like?
Ooh.
I'm glad that this exists. I don't even care that I made it.
I So I literally I wrote a like goblin sub race. I'll use the official terminology there, even though I take issue with necessarily using the phrase race. I
Race.
like I like what Gabe did with designing like origins, right? Like or talking about like
Yeah.
heritage more, but
That was just a brilliant piece of designing. Like it's just
well,
like
is Gabe. What else is it gonna be?
Fair.
Um,
another person that doesn't sleep.
You're right. You're right. But I legitimately I designed this with one person in mind. I wrote like a dice goblin, right? So like I take away like fear of the small, and instead there's like you have an overflowing bag of dice. On a turn, you drop a d4 and maybe someone steps on it. Like is basically it was like such a memey idea, but I was like, it's silly. I'll roll with it. Why not? Like, because yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. Just because like when I think about it, it brings a smile to my face.
We actually just got a question from the audience, which is, how do you find your thing without imposter syndrome?
Yeah, man, that is tough. Because I hate to break it to you, but like imposter syndrome hits everybody.
I was just about to say we have had a lot of people here as a guest, and every single one of them has talked about feeling that imposter syndrome. I don't think that goes away.
It really doesn't. I mean, I think there may come a time when you've got like an established collection of works. We could say at the very least, like, I still feel like an imposter, but at least I can point to some evidence that maybe I'm not, right? And you start to like maybe like change that mindset a little bit. But like I talk with people who have been in the space for years and years, right? People that you know, like if I was like, hey, blank said they suffered from imposter syndrome, you'd be like, that is literally impossible. Like they created the game, right? Like it's just everyone deals with it. And I don't know how to like say like how to say to get around it, because to some extent we're all like figuring it out, right? Like I will be like brutally honest with you. Sometimes I'll like be like chatting about like game design with people, and I'll be like, oh, it's so cool that I'm learning from all these experts, and then I go like, oh, wait a minute, they're expecting me to know stuff too. What am I doing here?
I feel that with my entire chest. Yeah, you know, yeah.
I just want to take a quick second. Kelsey, thank you so much for resubscribing at Tier 1. All of our bits and subs this month are going to be donated to the Transgender Law Center. So with more direct donations available through the donate command in chat, we're raising funds with our friends over at Chromatic Chimera. And so far we've hit over $600. Our goal initially was $500.
That's incredible. I didn't know that part.
Way to
go. So, my next question to you is: do you have a design philosophy? Because this is something that I've just really kind of jumped into the deep end of design myself, and a few people have mentioned that they have design philosophies, like like the one that I've started to latch on to is I want to create things that people say shouldn't exist. For example, like one of the first things that I made was like a ranged paladin, because it never made sense to me that paladins can't be ranged. So it's just like, is there something that's just like, is there like do you have a design philosophy? I guess it's just the question that I'm asking.
Yeah. I think there are really two like kind of guiding things that I like kind of try to focus on as I'm writing things. And the first one is like, I want to write things that sound like a blast to play, even if they might not make a whole lot of sense, right? Like I just want to write things that are fun, right? So like when I am thinking about game design, if I go, what if I threw in a mechanic where you could spin your opponent around like a top? Like, sounds kind of cool. It's like some like anime like action sequence where you like run around them and then like pull and ripcord and they Beyblade off. Like, sure, why not? Like, let's do it. Why not? Like, it sounds like fun. Let's do it. But another thing that I think I've really been trying to lean into more, and this is actually something that I've learned from like friends, is like the reason why people play TTRPGs, period, is because they want to some extent, tell this story. They want this narrative experience. It might not be a universal reason, but it's pretty common. And so I try to find things and write things that contribute to a enjoyable story, right? I try to leave opportunities for someone to step into a moment and take the spotlight. And I also try to leave moments for someone to maybe like have a chance to grapple with whatever like insecurities or failings that they want to deal with. I think there's so much you can do in terms of storytelling, and I try to facilitate that as much as possible. I don't know how good I am at it, but I try. I try to keep that in mind as I'm writing. It's like, hey, like there's a story being told here, and I want to give agency, but also, provide some direction, but not be limiting or restricting in ways that are unnecessary.
I feel that. And I think you're doing a wonderful job at it, because I've seen you pop up everywhere, and everybody has nothing but nice things to say about you and your.
It's all
work.
lies.
So I think you've been paying people off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So have you had any of your work shown at a con or played at a convention or anything like that? Have you gotten a chance to see strangers play your stuff?
I've had the chance to see a couple of folks play games on streams, but I have not actually. So the last convention that I attended was C2E2 2020. Like, I was there. It was the end of February, beginning of March, and then the world shut down. And then shortly after that, I like put my first real design project into the world. That was like, okay, this is like something that is like good. I'd put like a subclass out before, but like then I kind of really dove into it with that adventure with Mage Hand Press. And I've done some more since then, but I'm excited at that prospect, but have not actually seen it done yet.
I find that's the real story about 2020 is the fact that we were all stuck inside, so we decided to make things.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I feel like the Panini has inadvertently ejected a lot of life into the TTRPG community.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have done streams for the first time. A lot of people have developed things for the first time. I thought you had been developing for much longer, honestly.
It's just because it's the time dilation.
Come into the space.
True.
Yeah. No, I had come into the space and like been doing stuff for a little while, and then I like took a step back. I put out one dungeon crawl in early 2019, and it was just garbage. And I was like, I was like frustrated with layout because I did everything in Word. I was frustrated that like my verbiage wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. I got there, I got done. It looked like, a 12-year-old had made it, and I was like, cool, I'm never gonna do this again. And I like walked away for 9 months, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, all right, cool, I guess I'm back. Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's me, your boy.
I have returned, and I don't know if I'm better. But
go ahead.
But I think I did just want to touch very quickly on the like concept of like quarantine hobbies, because I was talking about this with a friend yesterday, and like not only is it great that people are finding something to like pick up or fill their time with, but to your point about like seeing it bring in new talent and really bring new life to the space as a whole, like there are phenomenal people who have started streaming in the last 6 months, right? Much less, the year and change prior to that, that I think we're in this really kind of beautiful space right now in the TTRPG world where we're really kind of rethinking how things have been done prior to COVID. And what we're seeing is a lot of innovation, right? So for the very first time, I recently was chatting with some folks who were like, hey, like our goal for this channel is to like use virtual tabletops and like create this like kind of visual element and really kind of redo the way that we think about like TTRPG streams, which are normally just like, you know, heads and boxes, and like that works really well. But how can we add a little bit of extra visual to it, right? You know, we've seen some really great stuff out of Roll20. We've seen some really great stuff out of other virtual tabletops. But this is a stream channel focusing on taking technology to level up their stream quality. You know, they're still kind of figuring out what that looks like, but seeing concepts, new concepts that are coming out, they're like, hey, this is awesome. We're beginning to reevaluate, like, is there a better way to do what we're doing? Is there a better way to tell these stories? Is there a better format? I've seen more like short form streams recently that are like an hour to 2 hours, and then, you know, you don't have to like carve out half of a day to catch up on a show. You can just like sit down, lunch break, hour, watch the show, move on. Like, I think there's some really cool innovation taking place in the space, and I'm really excited to see what all of these new voices and these new ideas bring to us.
Especially because now we can get together, like before or we're getting to the point where we can get together.
Yeah.
So it's we've had a year of restriction that pushed us to innovate, and now that restriction is lifted. I think we're gonna see some truly amazing things happen, and I'm just so happy. I'm very excited for the future of the space.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that if you told me they would be happening a year ago, I wouldn't believe you. Like I wouldn't believe that the flagship show on Critical Role's channel is being GM'd by a black woman. Like I just
that
Finger snaps to Quinny
that
for that
announcement made my heart so happy. I can't even begin to tell you, because every time I have seen Abria on a stream, like she just rocks it.
Oh, yeah.
Like deserves way more credit than she gets, and she already gets a lot of credit. Just a phenomenal human being, and I'm so stoked that she's going to get maybe the recognition that she deserves, because there's a whole lot of recognition that she deserves.
Just-
you know,
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
having her on the show earlier this year and like all the talk about NDAs, and we're like, oh yeah, and then we see her on the stream where like just the one shot stream that they were doing. We're like, oh yeah, great. Abria's on Critical Role. No, that wasn't the NDA. That wasn't
Abria's
it.
on Critical Role.
Abria is Critical Role.
Welcome to the Abria show.
I have to say that, and I mean this, I have never met someone so genuinely nice. There's not a shred of like ego or like do you know who I am isms to Abria. Just wonderful. And I was really afraid when the announcement was made about, you know, the reaction to it. And I'm kind of proud of the space because I haven't seen anything horrible.
Yeah.
I am so fucking bewildered.
I've seen people reference people saying shitty things, but I have not seen a single shitty thing. I actually tweeted about that. I was like, this has to be proof that either I've blocked the right people or the right people have blocked me, because it means that something is going right in the world that I can't even find someone saying bad about it.
I you know what? I looked. I'm sorry.
Same. I was
just like, I've got to see somebody coming out of Bria so I can start swinging. And
Absolutely.
I couldn't find it.
No, I went through like the handful of accounts that I know occasionally like stir things up. I was like, did they say anything? Did they say anything? No. What is this? Everyone's behaving.
You just click the show more replies button, and all it is just people saying fuck yeah, and it was the fuck that got caught, not the actual
Yeah.
negative comments.
It's like, what?
Like what you said? Oh yeah, I'm also excited. Thank you.
Did we actually remember to love each other one time? What? Just once? No way.
Like I was just like, I can't find one. Why don't we have a white person cast as Black Panther comment? What is going on?
It was a welcome surprise.
Yeah, that it was amazing. So I mean, first off, I think that has a lot to do with just Abria's character. Like I don't feel like you can see Abria and want to talk shit, but there are horrible people out there. So I also want to give like a shout out to the Critical Role mod team, because if there was anything, they sniped it like SEAL teams. Like they,
Oh yeah.
like oh my god.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited. I'm loving the fact that I'm seeing more and more newer faces getting time on higher platforms.
Mhm.
Like that's also something that I'm excited about. You know, and I have to give you a lot of credit in regards to that, because you've had a lot of games with high profile people, but I always notice that you have like a newer face that I haven't seen when they're playing with you, which is something that I always thought was just low key very cool that I noticed that you do.
Yeah, when I was kind of getting into the space, I had some friends with a little more social clout than I did who kind of were like, hey, like, come along. Like, we want you to be involved with this. And so anytime I have an opportunity to run a game on my stream or put something together, I try to like find a friend and be like, hey, come along, right? Like, I would like to share this experience with you. Let's go together. Because like, at the end of the day, right, this is the key word is community, right? Like if we're not cheering each other on and trying to help each other, then we're not really doing community very well. And so like, yeah, people helped me early on when I was trying to just like, hey, I guess I'm going to try to like build a little bit of a platform. And people were like, hey, like, go check this guy out, whatever, like, come do a stream with us, whatever. And I was so grateful. I also feel like I didn't deserve it. And so like, I'm trying to like keep that in my mind. Like, when you were just kind of getting the ball rolling, like no one knew who you were, but this really cool person gave you a chance. Be sure to, not pull the ladder up behind you, so to speak. Right. Like we gotta get more new faces in, because that's how we're going to keep learning and growing.
I mean, and something that I'm learning slowly but steadily is there is enough room and there is enough money for everybody. Like let's just be honest. Like, this hobby has grown very quickly, and I think it's I don't think it's a surprise to the people in the hobby. I think it's a surprise to the people outside of the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously Critical Role kind of kicked the door down with their Kickstarter, and people are starting to realize like, oh shit, this is a viable form of entertainment. And then when the world shuts down and Hollywood can't pump out their movies or their TV shows, people turn to Twitch. And I don't think that they're going to be as quick to turn away as some other people think they are.
Yeah.
I think once you get invested in some of these stories, you're stuck.
Yeah. I mean, there will certainly be some folks who, okay, world's open back up, I'm out. But like we've also seen a lot of like folks who were actors who have been really leaning into the Twitch space in terms of streaming and whatnot. So I think we're gonna see Twitch as maybe a more viable entertainment option going forward. There might be some, rules that come with that. I'm sure that I've had some very loose conversations with folks who know a little bit more about Hollywood than I do, saying like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that like, the SAG crew is probably trying to like find a way to like put their mark on Twitch now because so many actors have been streaming for the last year and change. But we'll figure all that out. I mean, it's fine.
That's actually a really good thing that Sphinx just said in chat. Either we take care of each other and build each other up, or we don't and we crumble.
Yeah,
true. And I especially for millennials, I feel like we have seen a lot of things with potential rise and fall, and
Mhm.
I don't think that any of us are gonna stand for this to be one of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, I remember when the internet was the Wild West.
I remember back on AOL Instant Messenger, I would set my status to, the lyrics of my favorite song at the
Yeah.
time, and we would chat back and forth.
Pepperidge
It
Farm
was a good
remembers.
time. Yes.
I remember my MSN default message was a My Chemical Romance.
Hey! I think mine was Waterfalls by...
PLC?
No.
I was gonna
System
be
of
surprised.
a Down.
Oh,
Okay.
Ariel's
I knew it was
actually is the
Bare
name of
Naked
it.
Ladies for
Okay,
me for
okay.
a while. I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It could have
Look,
been. I'm also Canadian.
Fair.
We forgive you. No, I'm just kidding. I love
Hey,
it.
some of my favorite people are Canadians.
You know what? I would talk so much smack about Canadians if they were so secret about secret Canadians. You never know who's a Canadian and who's not.
I'm working on a project right now, and I realize there's going to be a bunch of other Canadians in it, and I realize that I change my accent up a lot in streams when I'm with Americans. And maybe it's my ADHD masking. I don't know. But I'm going to have to go full Canadian, and I'm not sure if anybody's ready for that.
Look, if they're not ready for it, they'll figure it out when it happens. It's fine.
It goes, I did shrews to the soundtrack of How You Remind Me by Nickelback. None of you can shame yourselves over your youth. That just sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to conventions coming back. Do you what's your feelings on cons? Like, and if you don't mind indulging, what do you think will be the first con that you come back to?
Yeah, I've been given a lot of thought towards conventions this year, and stuff that's happening later this year. I'm thinking about it pretty seriously. Between having some maybe professional role to play at conventions through Jaspers, and also just like really loving the convention atmosphere, I'm thinking I might go this year. I'm obviously gonna like kind of just keep an eye on how we're trending across the country, but I'm thinking about maybe something at the end of the year. The two at the top of my list right now are PAX Unplugged, more like just for personal enjoyment. I had a blast at PAX in 2019, met some phenomenal people. But I'm also thinking about GameholeCon this year. It's a little bit earlier in the year. There's a handful of folks who are trying to really convince me to go, but those are the two that I'm thinking about this year. So we'll see.
I'm just waiting to see if I can get my second shot before everything else opens up. Unfortunately, we're a little slow on the release right now.
That's fair. I had the benefit of throughout the whole Panini press, I was working in healthcare in the U.S., and so I was able to get my shots very quickly when they released, and then I promptly left healthcare. But
So, if you don't mind my asking, you don't have to tell us what the job is. Do you now work in the TTRPG field?
No, I do not. I work for a tech company out here doing like data science type stuff. But it's conveniently much closer to the TTRPG field. I mean, like technically, I work in the TTRPG field with Jaspers. Technically,
Technically.
Technically.
it's not a full-time job, but technically,
But Jaspers is a great company, and you do good work there.
Yeah, I do love Jasper's mission. Like, as soon as they open up their ambassadorship, I'm gonna try again, because Jasper's is just, I love the mission.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think we had briefly talked about doing a mid-year opening, and I don't know what the plan is for that, but definitely start of next year. Those will be opened up and ready to have folks coming in.
Oh yeah, I just mean mug the website until something changes.
If I hear something and am allowed to tell you, I will.
I appreciate you, bro. Uh, uh, we are close to our break time, but I just wanted to get a few more questions out of the way before we get into the dark roast, which is where we talk about more serious stuff and whatever.
That's convenient.
But,
I've got dark roast right now in my cup.
Hey, I have dark roast that I made light as hell, so I'm gonna fix that when we go to break. Cool. But the first question is, there is a war in the TTRPG community.
Here we go.
I'm not sure if you're aware of it, and there are 2 sides, 3 sides if you choose to recognize cowards. There are people who choose to crunch die. They consider die the forbidden candy and want to nom on them. And then there are the people on the righteous side that say, you know, dice are not for eating. You don't know where they've been. Get that out of your mouth, you disgusting person, you. I have to ask, for the people want to know, what side of the war is Josh on?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, if I was like just hold up like a random die here next to me, like I look at it like that's gorgeous. I don't want to eat it, but I have purchased in the past gummy dice and chocolate dice, which I have eaten, and so if it's edible, I'll eat it.
Thank you. You see, and this is what the people on the righteous side are saying, which is there are edible dice. Buy edible dice and eat them. But the people on the crunch side say that's crunching. We want to crunch, and I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of it. And just to give you an idea of what side you're on. You are on the side of me,
okay.
B Dave.
Okay.
Who else did we have? My memory is shit. Help me out here, Nina.
Well, we know for a fact that Abria is definitely weaponizing the crunch.
Sure.
As the CMO of Dice Envy, she is looking into ways to add scent and flavor to dice.
Good.
Abria is a chaos lord, and as happy as I am for her, she must be stopped. She is funding this crunch war. Look, she is a crunch war Mongol.
Abria can do whatever the hell she wants. She can do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
You know what? I might have to put Abria on the same list as Liam O'Brien.
Okay.
Which is, it's on site for Abria. If I see Abria, we fight. Let me take that back. The internet will destroy me.
It's true.
I was say that's
bold. That's bold.
You gotta be careful. She's the internet's new sweetheart. So
I know,
watch out.
Right? Like, I'm just gonna look at my emails and it's just gonna be a bunch of people like, we don't play those games.
Gonna start getting hate mail.
Chad is already going, you know damn well you can't put hands on a Priya. Don't you clip that. Don't you clip that. That'll ruin me. But yeah, you are on the side of the angels. I believe Sarah is Coffee also is a stop the cruncher.
No, she was pro crunch. She put a die in her mouth immediately as you asked the question.
Fucking right. Bah. You know, one of my dreams is, and this will be the last thing. One of my dreams is just to have one shots with everybody that has been on the show, because I love you all, even though some of you are crotchers.
Look, if the invite shows up, I'll probably say yes.
Well, you know, good to know, because I'm gonna see if I can make that happen.
Okay.
My last question to you before we go on break: are there any TTRPG pet peeves you have? Is there just something that if somebody does it at the table, it drives you crazy?
Yes. Is this the segment where we talked about previously earlier?
Oh no,
or
no,
do I
this
wait
isn't
on
the
that?
bad guy segment. That's something
Okay.
that comes in the second half.
Yes, I have some. They can all be covered under the that guy segment.
Oh, I can't wait for the bad guy segment. And the last question. I know I said that before, but this is another one that we ask every guest. You've got 85 people in the world that you could have at your table, and you can choose who GMs or not. Who do you pick? We have had like Michelle Obama picked. We've had what's the guy who does the voice for Iago? Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah. Okay. Dang, that is a tough question.
It is a tough question.
The list changes every time with any of us. I think we had Cardi B in one of our lists.
Oh,
Okay.
you know I had Cardi B in my like. Who was our guest last week? My memory is shot.
Last week? Week before last was Kaylee.
Kaylee. Kaylee, it was so fucking wholesome that she picked her family, and I just didn't know how to react.
Look, I mean, Kaylee is an A+ person, so I'm not surprised by that. I think it's going to be kind of a mixed bag here. I would love more than anything else to play a game of D&D with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes.
I would love that with the entire core of my being. At the same time, I have for a very long time, I think, been hoping to actually sit down and like play D&D with B Dave, right? So I've had chances to interact with him before, but we've never actually played a game together. Would love to do that at some point. So that's two. I have always really looked up to I've always looked up to to add to this group. I think I would want to bring in Henry Cavill.
Oh.
Because he's a nerd, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a nerd. The odds of him already having played D&D once in his life, significant, right? Significant odds.
Sexy table.
It really is. That's what I'm just making next year's GQ cover list table. It's fine.
We are talking to the person that did invent charisma check, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying, like, if Henry Cavill, like, if Henry Cavill, like, fucking reloads his arms at the table, I'm done.
Look,
like he rolls bad and then he's just like, bang, bang.
If he does that at the table has flipped, right? Like there is no game at that point. We have to recover.
I mean, he did reload his arms hard enough that he grew a beard, so.
You're right.
He reloaded his arms so hard he became the Witcher.
Yes. So that's three. Man. I think I'll just round out the table with some friends. I would really love to have a chance to get Jen Kretschmer in at that table. Love her so much. And
she is fantastic.
Yeah, just phenomenal human being. You know what? That's a pretty great table. Let's go ahead and I would pull in for the final seat. Well, I was gonna say Abria, but you know, now that she's got all this Critical Role stuff, I mean, you know, she probably doesn't have time for it. She probably doesn't have time for it, frankly. You know, us little people. So you know, I'll say Mackenzie de Armas. Okay. I think phenomenal.
I was
person.
Worried you were gonna say somebody else and make the table too sexy. I thought that's you were fair. Not to say Mackenzie's not attractive. I'm just saying. I thought you were gonna go Henry Cavill, B. Dave, Gabe. I'm like, you know what?
Look, if I put Gabe at that table, I think the universe might explode.
I don't know what would happen if his hotness met Henry Cavill's hotness. Do they absorb? Do they repel? Like,
well, one is just like super muscular, like kind of stoic, and the other one is like fey god. So I feel like it's like a counterbalance of just like utter like there's like completely like it's just too much attractiveness at one table. I can't find the right words to
It is like meeting
explain.
someone from the divine plane and someone from the Fey realm, and then like
Yeah.
just those two interactions.
I hate my brain. My brain immediately imagined them doing the fusion dance and getting
Yes.
Gendry Javille.
Alternatively, hear me out. What if Henry did the dirty dancing move with Gabe?
And artists get to work. If I don't have Henry Cavill, Dirty Dancing Gabe, by the end of the day, you're all fired.
You know what? I will yield my seat to put Gabe at that table because I want that now.
The other way around, Gabe does it with Henry Cavill.
Look, I mean, Gabe is already superhuman. It's possible.
It's true.
We've talked about Gabe so much on the show, I'm almost afraid to ask him to be on it.
It's true.
You wouldn't be able to talk about him on the show.
He's like 90% of our material is talking about how Gabe is that
I'm
literal
pretty
Fey.
sure it would just be this from him the entire
But at the same time, right? Like Gabe, hanging out with him, getting those conversations with him, especially like if it's a little bit later in the day, like it just goes off into left field, and it's absurd, but it's also so cool. I don't know if you were around for that one stream he did with Latia a while back, Vapor Games.
No.
So basically, he had this like scrolling live feed of his face with just like vaporwave music, and it was just like him going like, "Why is it called jumbo shrimp? Because shrimp are small, but jumbo means big." And just like you know, like high like shower thoughts. Just like 2 hours of this, and just him and Latia just like going back and forth, just absolutely ridiculous.
I need to look this up now.
One of my favorite things to ever experience on the internet. And he goes there, so you could have some pretty phenomenal conversation. It just might be, you know, indecipherable to mortal humans.
That's fair.
What it sounds like is I might need to smoke a bowl before the episode if we ever have him.
Look, go for it.
Which I am always happy to do. But we have lingered on the first half long enough. So we're going to go ahead and take our break and give everybody about 10 minutes to go do human things. While you're gone, if you have any friends, tell them the show's on. Get them back in here for the Darker Roast and the That Guy segment, which is I'm very excited for this episode.
We will be back in about 10 minutes. See everybody.
If that's what we come.
That's what we come back with. Hi, everybody.
I fucking love doing this show. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the second half of I will say Critical Role. I'm so
Welcome back to the second half of Critical Role. Yes, it is Thursday.
It is Thursday. I'm your host, Matthew Mercer. You might notice we're down a few people. You know what? If we believe real hard that we're Critical Role, maybe we can do their numbers.
Honey, there
You
are so
just-
many people in the space that think that.
That's
wow.
true. That's
That is-
really true, though.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, they believe that, and then, you know, they average 5 viewers per stream, which really...
Is actually pretty decent. And then
It
they get
is pretty
mad.
decent, but there's definitely an expectation that, you know, me and my 3 friends from down the street can start a stream. And,
Well, that's why they're averaging 5, because they've already got the GM and 3 players in chat.
Right. Well, you don't forget their mom in chat too,
Yeah.
right? Like that's 5.
Yeah.
You know what that I
The big
I've
sick.
recently found out that my mom watched some of my streams, and that's uncomfortable.
Every now and then, my family will pop in on one of mine. It's always like, oh, okay, cool, get it.
And I'm pretty sure the one that I know that they watched is one where I ate a dude.
Phenomenal.
But anyway, hello everybody, and welcome back to the second half of Morning Ritual on Critical Misses. This is supposed to be the dark roast where we get into more serious conversations of the TTRPG community, and we'll get to that.
What, you don't know? My deep cuts weren't.
Oh no, your deep cuts. You officially hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you could get those deep cuts from Giordano's if you're careful.
You know what? Now I'm gonna.
Why would you say Geo's? Why would you invoke that name?
You don't know what you just did, Josh. You just hurt. You just hurt me.
It hurt my feelings so hard.
I just picked one of the 3.
So I actually had Anita do a test of Geno's versus Lou's, just for the deep dish, and I still have the picture of their reaction to eating Geno's. I'll post it on Twitter. It is hilarious because you can see the fat tears come down her face.
It wasn't as I actually cried eating the cake from Portillo's though.
Portillo's. Oh yeah.
Did you get the cake shake though?
I did, and I actually the cake itself. Like, I actually, this reminded me of
so
birthday
good.
Cakes that I got when I was a kid, and I cried.
Yeah. Now, the last time I went to Portillo's before leaving Chicago, they had a strawberry lemon cake shake.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that yet, but it is so good.
I think I'll order one today.
Please, enjoy it on my behalf. I miss it.
Why would you do that to me?
I'm sorry.
And we've got our resident New Yorker Hoosier in the chat just being butthurt because our pizza's better than New York pizza.
Look, if you can't fit 3 pounds of cheese on your pizza, you're doing it wrong.
You know, if you gotta fold your pizza, I'm sorry. That is a Lunchable. That's what you got.
It's a flatbread.
Hey, Rob.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to not being invited back after stirring up too much shit.
I know, right? That's all our show is for. It's just get people to have beef with each other. You know what?
Good.
You know what the TTRPG space needs more of? Diss tracks. You know?
I think you already started that. That's what the show is, mostly.
I would not hesitate to go over to Chicago. You
Welcome
shouldn't
to Morning
hesitate.
Ritual.
You'll finally get good pizza.
All pizza is good pizza.
No, Morshadi, I refuse to take the option that leads to peace. So here
No, I will choose violence every time.
every time. Here's a question that I need to start asking more of. What property do you feel has gone ignored by the TTRPG community? Like, what property do you feel needs a proper RPG? Because honestly, I'm sick of the Star Wars RPGs. I feel like we've had a couple of them. I'm kind of sick of the Star Trek ones. I mean, we've got a good one, and we don't need any more.
Sure.
But I feel like there are some properties out there that I would kill to have a TTRPG for. And I'll give you my answer right off the bat. I feel like Who Framed Roger Rabbit would be a dope ass TTRPG.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, and I generally I agree with you, right? I mean, I think we've seen a lot of Star Wars stuff. I don't know that we've seen a lot of very good Star Wars stuff. There's one or two that stand out as being like decent,
I
but
think I've just got nostalgia for the 3.5 one because I played
mm,
that a bunch,
yeah,
and it was real good. Or I
yeah.
had fun with it.
Look, that's fair. Like, if you're having fun with it, I feel like that makes it good, right? Like,
Hell
at least
yeah.
to you. But properties. So I'm gonna let me just make some deep cuts here. Growing up, I really loved two shows as a kid on PBS. I really loved Dragon Tales, and I think Dragon Tales is literally perfect for some kind of TTRPG where you can travel to a mystical land using dragon scales and hang out and, like, I don't know, solve problems. Whatever they did on that show, I was a
I
child. I
am
don't remember.
trying so hard not to sing the theme song, and
Right?
I don't know why I know the theme song.
Dragon
It's so
Tales,
catchy.
Dragon
Tales.
Tales, it's almost time for Dragon
Dragon
Tales.
Tales.
Come along, take my hand, let's all
Go
go
to
to
the
Dragonland.
Uh,
But the other one I would really like to see, which I think could probably be hacked to work into things that currently exist. I also really like Cyber Chase as a kid. Where you got some kids from the real world who get pulled into the internet or whatever and are like traveling through technology. Like, I feel like that would be really cool as well to kind of like dig into some like sci-fi tech stuff. I actually feel like the Retroverse would be a really good
ooh.
system to do that for. Um,
Oh, I've never heard of Cyber Chase, but I'm getting like strong reboot vibes from it.
Yeah, it's like one of those like kids shows meant to like teach you about like math and science,
Mm.
and so they like the kids go to the mall and like touch like the digital sign that like pulls up the map of the mall, and then like get pulled in and have to like stop the villain from destroying all of the cyberverse or whatever. It's very, and they like do it by like solving math problems and such. It's very
That,
much like
no, that's
educational,
dope.
but.
And apparently, people in chat are all for it. Like, Josh,
Ooh.
if you ever do that, I am jumping into that game so fast.
I see someone said Carmen San Diego. That'd
That,
be a good one too.
yo,
I've actually
Um,
I've seen an idea for that. Just Alice is missing, but it's Carmen San Diego. Like, I saw that on Twitter the other day, and I was like, that is the best idea I've ever heard in my life.
yes. Aram, I saw you mention Carnival. If you like Carnival, Crossroads Carnival by Kate Bullock. It's a PBTA ash can that Magpie has, and I highly recommend it. It is circus freaks fighting against the forces of the apocalypse in the American Dust Bowl. It is amazing.
That's phenomenal.
like, I'm now looking at all of the suggestions chat had. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Uh, Oz, the HBO prison show.
Okay.
That would be rough. A Mortal Kombat TTRPG. How the fuck is a Mortal Kombat TTRPG not already a thing? Well,
It's kind of hard to do a TTRPG based on a fighting game and not have PvP as the
Right.
front center.
Like, you could do it. I almost feel like that would fit better as like a board game style thing where you've got like your characters and your builds, and then you're using some kind of neutral system to negotiate who wins any given encounter.
I like. Now I just want. Now I'm just imagining how a Mortal Kombat, because it's such. The property has like an amazing story.
It has
Oh,
good
yeah.
lore.
It has amazing lore. It's just, yeah, you're right. I don't know how that would go. A Sphinx goes more Power Ranger TTRPGs. I think Power Ranger already has a couple, don't they?
There's a couple. I don't know how well they've been done. I've not personally played one, but I think Power Rangers is another property that like has a huge following and a really cool like world lore around it. And so I think it'd be neat to see.
You know what franchise I feel like it would be a slam dunk if they made a TTRPG, and I can't believe it hasn't been made already. And yes, Urban Shadows is close, but if they made an official Underworld TTRPG,
Ooh.
Yeah.
that would be the end of it.
That would be so good.
The end of it. Oh,
That'd be really good.
The Running Man? That's not a bad idea, Danny.
I haven't seen The Running Man.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
just
fine.
like, yes, I agree. I agree.
Yes, yes. It's the original
Isn't that
game show. You either someone gets picked to basically gets put a bounty put on their head, and they have to survive until a certain time, or
It's like the most dangerous game, basically.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
but with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was it
Right.
Underworld already almost dragged to court for biting Vampire the Masquerade?
I think actually, yeah, that was a thing back when it came out. World of Darkness tried to tell them that they were infringing on copyright. White Wolf was quite upset.
I love the legal battles in the TTRPG.
It's really interesting sometimes, and there's some cool stuff out there. Like there's some fun facts in the TTRPG world. Like if you knew, they'd be like, "I'm amazed that there aren't more lawsuits like on this particular issue."
I mean, because look, obviously, there's a lot of TTRPGs that are spiritual successors to a lot of franchises, and the legality of that I'm not looking into. I just know I recognize a Transformer when I see one. And like there is some, I don't think there's an official Transformers RPG, but there are Transformers RPG, so it's just
Yeah, I say, didn't last year Justice released something small? It was like a one-page RPG or like a micro RPG. I forget what exactly he called it. It was like Roboticons or something. Might have been like an April Fool's thing that he did, but like it's in
hold
spirit.
on, I think I might actually have what you're talking about.
I don't know that it was actually like a physical game. I thought it was like just a small PDF, but
I
yeah.
believe. Oh wow, Command Droids.
Okay.
Might be
Okay.
what you're talking about. Which is this is the dope system. I'm not privy to Transformers, which is the only reason I haven't run it yet. Oh, you know what? Other franchise I would love to see get a TTRPG, The Prophecy.
Oh.
More Shoddy is suggesting law TV shows: Boston Legal, The Practice, Perry Mason.
I've had ideas for like courtroom drama style campaigns before. Just finding a system to run it is the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering because as well-rounded as 5th edition is, it doesn't really lend itself to things like a courtroom drama.
Yeah, that'd be more of
Right.
a PBTA hack.
I would assume so. I mean, or something proprietary, but it would definitely be.
But I would love to see that.
Leverage had a TTRPG they lost the rights
Oh,
to.
they did. I've seen the book and everything. It's pretty dope. But if you're looking for a system to do a leverage type game, Black Cat's Gaming spy game is like fucking perfect for it. I've been playing with them for a while, and it's just it's fantastic.
Lasers
Sorry,
and
now we're
feelings
just-
hacked, facts and innuendos.
Okay.
Oh, okay. See, there's so much out there that I don't know about. That's another
There
reason.
really is. I
It's
mean, like,
just-
I feel like every 2 months I play a new game system for the first time. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, how did I not know about this? I love it.
Like I'm reading a new system called Court of Blades, which
Mhm.
is like it's all about nobles and intrigue, and it's a PBTA system, and it's so fucking good, and I love it, and I can't wait to play it. But I desperately like the more I think about it, the more I want a Law and Order type TTRPG where we can get into like the detective work and then the courtroom work. That would
Yeah.
just be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
mean-
you could just throw things at a dartboard and make a TTRPG about it, because Crochet Old Women, or Kelsey in chat, just said Motherfucking Crab Truckers is an actual TTRPG that exists in the world.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
Yes.
I mean, look, I've written some pretty ridiculous ideas that I just have to actually put down on paper. I've got like 3/4 of a dinosaurs in space micro RPG that I've written. I just have to like take my notes from playtesting and like fine tune it. But there's a whole bunch of ridiculous ideas that just like would be so great.
Can you just put that in my hand, please? Right now.
Yeah, I just need to finish writing it.
I know. That's the problem.
Yo,
I'm so good at starting ideas and then not finishing them.
That's my
I
mood.
low key am like hyper focusing on the idea of a Law and Order TTRPG because like yeah, look, there are already classes like like I'm just imagining in the AP where you can like what if you just outright told and this is also part of what our show is, we just pitch dumb shit. What if you just told the audience how the crime happened and who did it, and then like that's the start of the AP, and then the actual AP is watching the players try and put it together. I don't know if it's more fun if the audience already knows, or if it's if it's more fun to like just let the players try and figure it out, and then at the end you tell everybody what happened. But I kind of like the idea of like everybody being in the know and watching players just stumble around trying to find clues and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like both ways could be fun. You could even do like okay, for those of you in chat, right? Like I'm about to play this pre-recorded video that tells you who did it and what happened. If you don't want it to be spoiled, walk away for 1 minute. Otherwise, stick around. Like, and then they could choose, right? It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, and like you already know how the session's gonna start. It's gonna start with like the fucking trash man going, "Oh my god, I found a body in the garbage," and then we immediately cut to whoever's playing the cop talking to this guy who's like doing like 8 other things while talking to the police because they always do that. I want this fucking game right now. I gotta start writing.
Do it. I mean, I've seen murder mystery style games done well before, but they're always using another system and kind of, just co-opting that type of narrative into it. So having something built for that would be phenomenal.
I'm still working on trying to figure out exactly which system I'm going to use. I'm working on a supernatural horror game for this channel that I'm going to be running in the next couple weeks. I'm still torn up about the system, but I know how I want to run it, and I want to run it episodically, so that every episode is not necessarily connected to an is connected to an overarching plot, but can stand on its own, like as a series of one-shots.
Yeah.
That's the plan, but I'm trying to figure out the system that'll work for it.
Yeah. And so, can I dig into that for 2 seconds?
Go for it. Do it.
So are you looking for like a very high chance of like death in that type of game? Like kind of like you gotta work to survive, like odds are stacked against the player type of deal, or
So Dread would
where are
work
you
for
trying to, like,
that. I'm trying to maybe. So it's going to be teenage supernatural drama. I want death to not necessarily be an option, but can happen if players make wrong choices.
Sure. Okay.
But
That's fair. So my initial thought when you had said that pitch was, like the Witcher TTRPG and connected to that, the Cyberpunk TTRPG, both by Brainwork, our Telsorian Games, have like this very kind of like cool system, but there's this challenge, like the odds are stacked against you to some extent as a player. Like, you're not just going to die, but you have to be careful. You have to be strategic in how you go about things. Because like, I mean, that's Witcher basically is like, you're one person or like a small team of people up against this like creature that kills people for a living. So like, like the odds are not necessarily in your favor. You'd still have to hack it, but I was just trying to figure out if that would be like an actually good fit for what you're trying to do or not. Maybe more the Cyberpunk side of things than the Witcher side of things, but
possibly.
I don't
Danny
know.
in chat was saying Cortex has some books based on Supernatural. Monster of the
Yeah.
Week. The thing is I kind of wanted to do a game that I haven't seen streamed a lot. Which is part of my hang up. The other part of my hang up is my ADHD hyperfixation makes me throw my attention to other things instead of the actual thing that I need to work on.
Right. That's relatable.
Yep.
Now, Cortex would be really cool, and I know that they've only got like 2 or 3 streams out there using the Cortex RPG system right now.
Yeah, I think In the Motherlands is one of them. Or is that
I
something
think,
else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's based off of Cortex.
Yeah.
I know that there's like a official Cortex RPG stream with some of the folks on the design team, but
And I know that it's infinitely hackable, so you can just do whatever you want with it. I was actually eyeing up Cortex for that too. But there's another game that I was looking at that just finished kickstarting, where the town itself is almost the villain, because it's going to be a small town sort of drama or things that happen in the area. So we'll figure it out. We'll solve it pretty quick here.
very cool.
Ah.
I just wanted to dig into that idea just a little
No,
bit
I
more,
love it. That's
just 'cause
exactly what the
sounds
show
cool.
is for.
You know what else the show is for? The show is for letting people who are new to the TTRPG space get familiar with the fact that not everybody here is looking out for your best interests, and that if you have a rough time at a TTRPG table, you're not alone. But it is worth having the bad experiences so you can have the joyous ones. And in order to show that, we like to ask our guests if you have experienced the that guy. Now, for the definition of what a that guy is for the people that are uninitiated, that guy is a vacuous black hole of fun at the table. Someone who, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience at the table would be exponentially better. So, let's give you a few samples of the that guys we've had.
Sure.
We've had a guest here who was being assisted in character creation because they had never played before, and in the middle of creating their character, this person bit them on the neck, and when our guest asked them what was that about, they pretended that it didn't happen. We have named this person the Biter Gaslighter. We have also had a DM leverage an NPC to form an actual relationship with somebody who was already engaged to be married, thus foiling the engagement. So we've had all types of bad guys.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Those are some pretty drastic ones. Dang. Okay, well let me start. The year's 2018.
Good go.
Josh is going to his first local game store game. Show up to the first session. It's fine. I mean, little railroady DM, but we're okay. We get to session 2. Two of the other players bring their Nintendo DSs because there was a new game that just released that they were excited about. So they were playing it before the session. They're playing it during the session. Never actually looked up from the game except when they were like specifically called upon, to the point where eventually the DM was like, look, if y'all want to play video games, you can do that, but not at my table. Walk away. And like just kicked them out of the game. And legitimately they took their stuff, packed up and walked away. Like, because they were more invested in playing this brand new video game that released the same day than like playing the game of D&D that we were doing together. So that's one. At the same game store, one of the folks who worked at the store played in our game, and so had exclusive control over the store sound system that the rest of us did not have access to. And so this kind individual would occasionally, similar, I think maybe we can relate to this, like some ADHD. Sometimes they just get an idea and they just have to go with it. And in this case, it's listening to music while we're playing a game. You'll be like, oh, I really want to put on Arctic Monkeys, and just toss up a different song. Or like, I really feel like listening to this YouTube video right now. Toss it on over the speaker system. Remarkably, one time they watched half an episode of Futurama before we asked them, hey, like, we're trying to do combat right now. Can you turn that off? Because it was just like a lack of like social awareness that like, hey, we're trying to do something here. Would you like to participate, or would you like to watch Futurama on your phone with surround sound because we're in a game store? Like, come on, y'all. So those are two personal experiences that I've had.
Yeah, those are pretty fucking bad.
I've had the second one before in one of my games.
That's fair.
Yeah, stopped an entire session to look at a video of this weird German song with cuckoo clock noises.
Okay.
While I was in the middle of description.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're not married anymore.
Hey, that's fair. Dang. Shots fired. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, some bigger issues, I recently had a run-in with a white supremacist on Twitter.
I saw that!
I've never played in a game with them, but, I would argue that the world would be better if they were not at anyone's game table, just broadly speaking. So,
Josh, I kind of feel like you're burying the lead on this, because it wasn't just a white supremacist, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah, it was convicted murderer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
White supremacist.
Yeah, that guy.
It was a good time. Anyways,
How the fuck did that even happen?
I couldn't tell you.
Occasionally, this guy pops up into the TTRPG sphere. I've had him blocked for a solid
I think I saw that he had like 10,000 followers.
Oh, yeah, because he was in a band. In addition to murdering someone.
Yeah, well, that's how he murdered someone, is someone in a different band or in the same band. I haven't read too much. I just don't care to know, frankly. But like also like convicted for arson, like just a terrible person, right? Like just don't. Anyways,
I think I need to give props to you and to CB, because y'all have dealt with some some wild people. Like shit.
That was
whoa.
real talk though. Like, so here's what happened, right? Is like I saw that he'd popped up into CB's mentions. I was like, okay, well, let's take 2 seconds. Someone else was like, oh, it's this guy. I was like, okay, cool. Not going to say their name. I'm somewhat actively, even though I've blocked them literally everywhere, trying to, stay off of their radar because I got hate brigaded afterwards. But so, I was like,
oh my
okay,
God,
cool.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just not actively mentioning the name. That's
no,
all.
I feel you.
So, I was like, okay, well, let's just, I know a bunch of people in TTRPG community who happen to be following this person because they just follow back other people chatting about TTRPGs, and like Twitter, the algorithm is great because you can follow someone and never see anything that they tweet, which might be like, a dead giveaway that, hey, asshole, maybe don't interact with them and don't follow them, but whatever, it's fine. So I was like, oh, well, I see enough people like that I know that I should just do a quick tweet, just like, hey, FYI, if you see this account, maybe consider not following them because previously stated reasons. And then somehow it made it to the meme side of Twitter, and then somehow it made it to the music side of Twitter, who are all like, hey, y'all don't already know who this person is? What's up with that? And then it made it to the wrong side of Twitter. And then they found out about it. And then there was just this whole brigade of people quote tweeting that tweet, being like, who doesn't know about this guy? Come on. That's just or hey, I think the music is great or whatever. So it was I was like, okay. But I had muted notifications on Sunday, and then I woke up to hate mail on Tuesday. I was like, oh, cool. I totally missed the fact that people were dragging me all over the internet. Awesome.
I'm sorry that happened.
It was a really eventful week. It was a good time.
Yeah. I mean, you're a good friend. First and foremost, that was a lot. That was a lot. That's really the only thing I can say is that whole because I watched it from a distance and I'm just like, fuck, I didn't know that this guy had a following like that, but horrible people can get followings on Twitter just as much as good people. So you live, you learn, you get lugs.
It's true. And it was funny because they were all trying to make fun of me for trying to cancel this guy, and we know, right, cancel things that canceling doesn't happen. Especially if it's a white guy. I mean, yeah, he'll be canceled for a week and he'll come right back. It's how that works, right? He's not going anywhere. He's gonna live his life.
I look at a lot of the people that have been canceled in the TTRPG community, and they're still rocking 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
It's not so much a canceling as much as it's a hibernation.
Oh yeah.
Don't you hibernate me. That's what they should be saying.
Well, I mean, you've got familiar with that type of apology before, right?
Oh,
right,
well,
Noir.
I've done it a few times.
You know how that goes.
I'm so sorry that you feel this way.
We see you. We hear you. We are listening. You are valid.
I never could have predicted the consequences of my actions, and it is unfortunate that other people were hurt by them.
I'm going to take time away from social media to get the help
to really
that I
reflect
need and reflect on the actions and what led to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically we're reciting it like the fucking Pledge of Allegiance. All rise for the apology.
Oh, goodness.
I am very sorry that the things I said hurt some people. I will do better in the future to not allow these things to hurt these people. I am taking time to reflect on myself and my own biases.
That's the next game I'm making. It's called Cancel. Everybody starts off canceled, and you have to find your way back to the space.
Make it like Monopoly. Every time you make it around the board, you collect $200.
Which,
It's great.
given the nature of Monopoly and what that game was supposed to initially be, I could see this completely going the wrong way and blowing up in our face.
I mean, that's fair.
That sounds like a Jackbox game.
I pulled the community card. Join a Kickstarter and try to hide your presence.
Pulled a life event card. Just go back to Twitter like nothing happened.
No. It's go back to Twitter under the guise of some other drama, just to be like, haha, look at this fucker.
Oh, you have the dog pile technique?
Yeah.
If we're all mad at this new person,
Can't be mad
they'll
at me.
get mad at me. All right, roll. Damn, somebody recognized me. Oh my god, this might actually be a fun, horrific game.
This is like the equivalent of like the Cards Against Humanity. This is the game you're like, so I wrote this game. There's a very solid chance that I will be canceled for writing the game, but I'll just use the game to plan my returns. So like I'm prepared.
Hey, look, you can start as a YouTuber, a TTRPG, a politician, a musician, or a newscaster.
There, we've got
Yeah.
all of the bases covered. You play
That's
influencers who did wrong and have to make their way back to the spotlight. That's so bad. It's a terrible idea. It's
We're
a
calling
horrible
it
idea.
canceled.
Cancel the game.
We're gonna get trashed for this.
We are
Oh,
going-
absolutely.
We are fucking ruined, babe. I'm so
We're
sorry.
gonna get canceled for this.
You drew
Great
the Twitter
reason.
main character card, post a landlord hot take tweet.
That's our marketing tactic. Is we get canceled and then use the game to get uncanceled.
Ah, it's genius.
For out of the
The
wrestler
play-
or actor that is awful.
Oh my god, we should make this a Powered by the Apocalypse game. The worse shit you choose for your character to have done, the more advantages you get from other sources.
There has to be a move called separating the art from the artist.
Oh,
Right.
oh yeah, I see you selected the JK character.
This game is cursed. It will never be made.
What's fucked up is I can see this game doing well.
It would do really well because people would use it to either A, make a statement about how cancel culture is awful, or B, make a statement about how cancel culture doesn't exist. It's like perfectly politicized in the middle where both sides would think that it's siding with them.
You know, I was just thinking like, what game would I base it on? I would base it on Smashed Up, where you like.
You got blockchained. Move to a new platform. Do not collect 200 followers.
So you roll on a dice to see how many followers you start with. Then you roll on a dice to see how many you lost after being canceled. Whoever gets to their original follower count first wins.
Hold up. You think that getting canceled means you lose followers? Come on now.
You're right. What's the YouTuber who like fucking smashed his buddy's face against the crane or something? Oh, David Dobrik. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't lost any of his sponsorships or his followers. He's just stepped down. Like,
Right.
so
right.
you're right.
If all the profits go to charity, yeah.
It could be canceled for
For
a
a
good
good
cause.
And yo, that's the fucking tagline of the game. Come on, everybody, let's get canceled.
Or Let's Get Cancelled is the name of the game. Cursed.
I feel like if we can work in that hashtag, this like, you know, it pops up every now and then, like, you know, cancel so and so party. We could work that into the marketing for the game, right? Like, I feel like
Canceled
really
game is over party.
Yeah.
What's fucked up is this is a good idea. Like, that's the thing that sucks. This is a good idea. I'm never gonna do it.
I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole.
I'm sticking to my Law and Order game. Y'all can have
Yeah.
canceled. Canceled is yours for free. If you want to make canceled, there you go. Cause
Here's the thing, like, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to like write this down somewhere, just like to hang on to it. But
it's good. It's so good.
It's a good idea, but wow, think of how many like tightropes you have to walk
Think of how
in
this
order
is gonna
to
go wrong.
successfully release this and not
Well, I mean, the
immediately
thing-
be dragged.
Well, the thing is, you can't explain why you were canceled, because that's where it gets problematic. Because the reason that people get canceled is serious and fucked up. We're just gonna skip that part.
I wrote it down.
You start
Excellent.
at the point. You start
It's
at
in
the
a
point where you're
place.
canceled. And you know, I think the fun of the game would be like to come up with like stupid, silly, not harmful reasons why you were canceled or whatever.
More
I
shoddy.
don't know.
That's an excellent idea. You do it like the way that the peeps that did this game wasn't play tested at all does. That game is chaos. That game has no rules.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, frankly. We just gotta, yeah.
We just gotta put it out into the universe and then disappear.
Right. Can we like release it under a pseudonym? Can we like write it as I'm trying to come up with a fake name real quick. Johnny
No arm,
TTRPG.
enigma.
I'll write it as Johnny TTRPG. Heard it
You
here
know that
first.
works. Could you imagine trying to get a group together for an actual play for that? Like, hey, Bria, Matt, Josh, B Dave, y'all want to get canceled?
Medical Chris's.
Let's get canceled.
Medical Chris's. AJ. No.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like you just probably need to like change it to like KRISES and it'll probably be fine, right? I feel like that's like distinct enough, right?
At best, I would make canceled a one-page RPG. Now that I think about it, it's just
it would need to be compact.
What are the
stats?
What are the stats in cancel? Let's see. Ego versus empathy.
Fame and fuckery.
I'm trying to I feel like it's gotta be like notoriety and something else, right?
Oh, you know what? You're right. Finance versus followers.
Okay. What about like notoriety versus like charity? Because like a common like apology thing is like, well, oh, I donated so much money to like this cause because
that would hit your financial score.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so like it. You know what?
This is hitting really close to something that just happened in this space.
Yep, it is.
Sure is.
Wait, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the space.
Oh yeah, you missed the bulk of that drama.
Moves include gaslight, apologize, push the blame, victimize yourself.
This is a really good idea.
Why are we building this? Why do we keep it? We got put ideas for this.
Just gonna open a Word document very quickly.
I mean,
Why have we
look,
just developed a TTRPG that is so cursed we could never release it?
We can all think of like complications,
Right?
like you know, like look. You drew the Twitlonger card.
Literally, just look at Twitter once a week. You'll find inspiration for the next complication.
Someone's written a twit longer about you. How do you respond?
Or a Medium article.
Oh no! You know you've got problems when that evolves to a YouTube video.
Oh,
then
yeah,
you're
absolutely.
fucked.
Absolutely. And my favorite thing is like when it's not even like the person involved, it's like some random Joe from like the middle of nowhere who's like, do you want all like the latest gossip on what's going down on the blank situation? Have you heard the news about the Noir situation? I think it's because secretly he's a member of a cult.
The conspiracy card. You're in real trouble
It's
now.
the Noir Illuminati. You rolled a 3?
Let's see. What can I?
Oh, Philip DeFranco made a video about you.
Oh no.
No. All right, can I roll to victimize myself? Oh shit! Oh shit! I rolled a 1. Now people are mocking my apology. Lose 10 more. Lose 10 more followers.
Why do we keep building this?
I want this game so bad right now.
Why is this the subject of our hyper-focus in this moment?
No, it's fine. It's good. It's good. It's good. Everything's great. Everything's great. Just hold up. Give me
I
2
want to play
seconds.
this so bad in a dark room with no witnesses.
Right. Hold up. No, everything's great. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Just gonna. Anyways, check your Twitter DMs for a Google Doc.
Yes, we're doing this now. It's too late. We're making cancel, y'all. Reason. I'm just gonna make funny, playful reasons why people were canceled. Just to
Right.
avoid-
It's like left your microphone on and accidentally used a swear word.
Got recorded kicking a goose during Canada Day.
Accidentally shared screen with your Discord DMs.
Your grandpa got on your Twitter thinking it was Google.
Someone found out that you make decaf coffee only.
What do you mean you haven't seen Star Wars?
More Shaddy, you're right. Cobra chickens are best not fucked with, though.
Nor found out that you like to crunch your dice.
Well, you're canceled. I'm gonna do everything in my power to destroy you. Someone hacked your Netflix account and found out you did remove American Beauty from your watch list.
Oof!
Oh goodness.
Oh no. Why doesn't this exist already? Why
Y'all-
have we been burdened with glorious purpose?
Y'all have to stop me on this because we're only gonna get more and more real the more we do this.
Eventually, we're just gonna start naming names.
You got canceled because you released a new TTRPG stream and it's all straight white people.
Even worse, you argued the point saying that you don't have any POC friends and that.
What's the response? Tell them to DM you.
Oh my god, y'all. I want this game. I hate this, but this would be fun. This would be fun, and we all know it, and I hate that. Your grandma put baby photos as your avatar.
We will never play this game. I think that's the name of the game. We will never play this game publicly.
This game is 100% flying too close to the sun.
Yes.
It's one card away from ruining us all. This is a tightrope. This is a tightrope walking performance that, if it's pulled off, would be legendary.
Goodness. This is literally, it's just a drinking game, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you've had a few too many to drink. It's a late at night at the convention. You're all chilling, in the lobby of the Hilton or wherever you're staying. And it's just like, oh, well, y'all want to get canceled?
And you pull up this cursed game. There are no digital copies, only printed copies spread like zines.
Right. The only way to get a copy is to know someone
Who has a copy.
I mean, the one thing that I'm hoping is, like, if we ever did make this game, I'm hoping that it would show people the fucking maneuvers that people use, and so hopefully they'll better recognize it. Because there are some things that I keep seeing happening, like,
it's not my place to forgive you, but I forgive you.
Well, that's how you get additional followers.
That's
back,
your
right?
right. That's your ride or die.
Successful maneuver. Yeah.
You see, if you have a high enough follower score, you get a few stands, and stands are fans that have extra powers.
Well, and don't forget the stands that are just your alt accounts, right? Because those exist too.
Yeah. Sock puppet has to be a move.
Yeah.
Sock puppet.
But then that's another way to get canceled again, is to not log out of your sock puppet.
Yeah.
See, sock puppets have extra powers, but it's extra risky because if you roll low on your sock puppet check,
Exactly.
then somebody recognizes your writing.
Yeah. Well, that's also when your sock puppet with a white avatar posts as a black man.
Right. Or in that case, your main account, the white avatar, posts as a black man.
Yes.
Anyways, no names.
No names.
Canceled the game. Coming this summer, dog. Energy of a 2 a.m. convention game.
It's really what it is. Like, it's
really
the perfect
is.
game for a convention. Late night, you're at the bar, it's about to shut down.
Can you imagine the shade that you could throw if, like, somebody did some fuck shit and then the next day on your channel you play Cancel the Game? just by virtue of this game existing, it could lead to so much fucking havoc.
It really would. It would be great, though. I'd have fun with that, personally.
This is the kind of chaos that we love on this show. This is the kind of chaos that I set to put out to the universe, but this is cursed. Even I will admit that this is cursed. Well and truly.
But this is such a fun and good idea.
You need sensitivity readers for this, obviously.
Right. You need sensitivity
obviously.
readers. You might need, like, a disclaimer, like, everything that takes place in this game is satire.
Right.
Yeah.
There are no...
And not only that, I would even want to, like, reach out or extend an offer to anybody that has been the victim of somebody that was canceled. It just be like, yo, is this cool? Do you mind?
Right.
Like, this is something that if it were to exist, it's got to go through a lot of approvals, because I don't want somebody to see this and go, oh, they're making fun of, what happened to me.
This is definitely a design by committee kind of.
This is something that exists to make fun of the people that hurt other people and how they think that they could just come back. That's not how we roll here.
Yeah, Sell the Game is a fundraiser for a nonprofit group.
Right.
How did we go from murder
tool.
skirts to this?
I mean, welcome to just, like, your average TTRPG conversation where it's like, hey, so anyways, hot gossip of the day. Gossip of the day. This is all stemming from the That Guy segment. We've just
Yep.
gone way off the rails, and it's fine.
This is I think the final form of the That Guy segment, which is just coming up with a game based on all these pieces of shit.
I mean, we are making the That Guy field guide.
Yes, how to identify and neutralize the That Guy at your table. That conversation all included that. Oh wow. This has been I love brainstorming just in general, but this has been a really fun one.
All I'm saying is let me know when the
Kickstarter goes up.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's just do some test rolls really quick.
I'm not going to mention anything about Kickstarters.
Yeah, once you put that energy into the universe, it happens. And that's the issue.
I'm afraid to even consider ever doing a Kickstarter for anything. And people are always like, oh, you should do a Kickstarter for that idea. I'm like, are you out of your fucking gourd? No.
Yeah.
You know? Give me some advance notice so I can save up money for the top. No, we're not doing it.
Kickstarter is not happening. Maybe.
You know, like I was thinking, there's a few different variations of this of canceled the game. There is that of like everybody at the table has been canceled and we're all trying to see who can come back first.
Right.
There is the one person is canceled and we're all trying to get them uncanceled, or like then there is the aspect of it, which is more akin to Arkham Horror that I'm thinking in my head, which is someone has been canceled and they're trying to come back and we're all working to stop that from happening. So there's a few different ways we can go about.
That's what's dangerous is you could really utilize this for so many options.
So like it's so pertinent to this space.
Ryan is right. There's a whole nother move we haven't considered, which is getting uncanceled by throwing your friends under the bus. That's spicy.
Oh, that is a spicy move. I feel like in the right hands, it'd be a great game, but in the wrong hands, it'd be hellish.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think that's why, like, we're all like, this is a fun and cool idea, and also, ooh, like, this is a fun and cool idea.
Release the receipts? Is that what that move's called?
I'm pretty sure that is what that move is called. But you gotta remember the variant, which is release the receipts and then immediately lock your account.
Yes.
Or apologize and then immediately lock your account. Right? Like that. We can't forget that one. That's important.
That is a prime move. Release the receipts, nuke your account, make a backup account, and nuke that one too.
Yeah.
Or just a move called Discord, where you start shit in Discord, hoping it spills out.
Man.
This gets super real.
This is hitting pretty close to some things that I've experienced.
We are really flirting with just
we are playing with
abject
fire.
failure at this point.
We are playing with fire.
That's the thing about this game is you are asking to be canceled by playing the game. And maybe that should be the tagline.
You know, I mean, okay, so I'm seeing how I would like, how I would like this. It is kind of like life, right? Where you're on a track, and eventually the track ends with uncanceled. Because on a long enough timeline, no matter how canceled you are, let's be real, you're gonna come back.
Yeah,
that's the unfortunate truth. Depending on your uncanceled journey, though, it might take longer and be more difficult.
Right. It's a race to see who can do it first.
Yes. So like you have your tracks with like, you know, roll 2d6 to see how many your piece gets to move. And then there are complications along the way. Like, you know, somebody released the receipts on you. You got to go back like.
You've heard of Monopoly, but do you want to play a game that will make your friends hate you even more?
Would you like to burn all of the bridges in your life? Play Canceled.
Would you like to burn all the bridges in your life? Well, then let's get canceled.
I love this and I hate it so much. I need to find a program that lets me like design a board. Because good things can happen on the track too. It's just rare. Like, good news. Somebody else got canceled. People are fewer people are paying attention to you know, to your scandal.
Absolutely. No, and I think the more that I think about it, this has to be a board game.
Yeah.
Right. I think board game is the way to go here, so you can control what happens.
Yes.
Because if we just write this as a TTRPG, it is immediately going to go wrong.
Yes, somebody is going to say or do something that is just
That's the disclaimer. You should become canceled by playing this game. We are not liable for any of that. You are on your own. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. And then you know, immediately under disclaimer, this game is released for educational purposes only, to identify ways that people try to become uncanceled. Please do not consider this as any kind of
instruction,
affirmation, or no, oh no, it's backfired.
If I just wait. But you know what? I would appreciate people who were canceled learning the lesson to just shut the fuck up and leaving us alone and apologizing.
Maybe that is like the surefire way to win, is like you'll move one space each turn if you do nothing. But it's also the long con, right? It takes so long. The people are trying to get ahead, but they could also get knocked back, you know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking like more along the lines of like Trouble here, or like Chutes and Ladders.
The only way to win is not to play. This is a game of thermonuclear war we're playing.
Oh no.
You know what? But there would be like red tiles where you have to do something, because you wouldn't have gotten canceled if you had good judgment in the first place.
You're right.
So, you know, you can choose to do nothing, which shows growth, but eventually you're going to get in your own way. So you gotta, at that point, you gotta roll. And yeah.
Right. But then I'm thinking of like, you know, like that type of board game. There's like one endless loop in the corner, and it's like, you know, you got to like really mess up to get there. But then as you just go around the loop, and each time you go around, there's like one square where you have a chance to get out. And it's like, you know, your annual like apology opportunity or whatever. And you pull from whatever like the deck is. I just like, but then there's a couple of those along the way, and they're like, dang.
You drew the lean into it card. Flip the script. Wear that hat. Start fights with everybody.
This is such a good idea.
It's such a good bad idea.
I didn't think I woke up and I did not think that this would be a thing, but here we are.
Look, you know, we're unfortunately doing what sometimes is the most cathartic, is just make fun of the things that make you hurt inside.
Daddy, no.
What did he do?
Become a boxer and get richer card.
Okay.
I hate it.
But where is the pay off the world's greatest boxer of all time to let you win card?
And he didn't even win.
I know.
But let's see. You know what? I think that there's going to be general backfire cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you have a lean into it card, which would be the good things happening to you, like, oh no, I'm canceled, lean into it, and you draw the become a boxer and get richer card. If you draw a backfire card, whatever boon the lean into it card gave you, it takes away double.
Okay. All right.
So like I would say that you can use the lead into it card to cancel out a consequence card.
Do we build? Here's the question. For game mechanics, do we build this off a rock, paper, scissors mechanic so that literally part of the mechanics of the game is canceling out other plays?
That's
And Michael, yeah, it ended basically with a no contest.
Yeah.
It was just hugging for like 8 rounds.
But there was that clip, I don't know if y'all saw it, where he legitimately knocked the dude out and then held him up until he woke back up.
Oh,
That was
really?
a part of the hugging. Yeah. No, I totally like saw that clip because I was following Twitter like the day of, like so close.
Rock,
I
paper,
didn't have
scissors
the
as a
heart.
mechanic is what you need in TTRPGs. It's basically the whole mechanic for Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, and that would actually be great because there is a strategy to it, but it's also kind of random. And so, like, you know, you would just play rock, paper, scissors against someone else to determine whether or not your move is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you succeed, if you win, then your move is successful. And then if you fail, it's not. And then you pull a consequence card.
Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that. That adds an aspect of like PvP to it a little bit too, because everybody's got a scandal at the table, so you're trying to make their scandal the most scandalous scandal. What are we making?
Look, everyone knows the best way to get out of trouble is to put someone else in more trouble.
Yeah, you know, just hop into a thread about somebody else being canceled. Like, I can't believe that they would do that. Completely ignoring your own scandal.
Difficulty determined by best of 1, 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
Making a
You're
fun
making-
Friday night.
It's what you're making.
Pretty much.
And a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just canceled the game. And you're right, it's right down the middle, so everybody would be inclined to like the people who hate cancellation, the people who don't think cancellation is a real thing. Oh my god. What
Like, it's such a bad idea that it might actually be a good idea.
If we use it as an educational tool.
Right.
For
You
good.
need that disclaimer.
Yes.
Disclaimer. Something like, I feel like if you kickstarted it, you know, you would say like, you know, whatever like percentage of proceeds go to charity that everybody likes, so that, you know, it's decidedly not what's the word I'm looking for? So it's decidedly not something that people could get up in arms about, right?
Yeah.
I think you could make it work. We'll chat after
God.
stream, I'm sure.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
I love this so much. This has become like the whole show, and I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be asking questions, but this is
This is
taking
far
over
better.
my mind.
This is far
This is
better.
far better. This is the... Oh my god.
Stretch goals, that's a great idea. You know, like for every 10K, we'll add an additional 20 cards.
No, one of the stretch goals is that we'll pay our writers more.
Hold up.
That's actually a card of the game.
That's a card in the game. Yes, I'll pay my writers more.
you you really coming at people's necks today, huh, Anita?
No, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll already pay like top of the industry rates, right? We'll already like totally not being sarcastic. We'll already pay something absurd, right, to our writers. They'll get so much money, and then we'll add that as like the capstone, like the $100,000. We'll pay our writers more. Each writer gets a bonus of $1,000. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
I feel like every game should start off with players reading a scripted apology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can just like replace, like there's like blanks.
A Mad
You
Lib?
just like put your name.
A Mad Lib apology.
And then you could have like the other players write your apology for you. That's how the game starts.
Yes.
Is you Mad Lib apologies and then like pass them to the left for everyone to read their apology at the start.
Whoever had the most believable apology goes first.
You think I'm not writing this down?
All apologies must be submitted via screenshots of a Notes app file. Or a twit longer.
Or a twit longer, yeah.
So this
maybe
is
like an hour-long YouTube video with really sad music underneath, where you ramble and maybe accuse other people for like 30 minutes of it.
It's got to be on your second YouTube channel. You can't have that on the main channel.
So the formula for this is to look down, and then to look up at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, I know that this isn't my normal happy-go-lucky content. This isn't the kind of content that you came here for. You might have already at this point heard about what happened, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you. It's true. I did the things. I said the things. And to the people I hurt, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
But hey, if you have a high enough follower count, you get a retry at your apology appearance.
It's true. It's true. No, that's what it is. If you have a high enough follower account, you can get stuck in those loops and get one annual retry. Right. The fake tear right after the jump cut. So you definitely didn't, like just put a little water under your eye.
Listen, guys, I feel really bad, and I'm gonna take the time that I need to reflect on this. You might not see that much of me coming into the future here, but I think that I'm going to come out of this a lot stronger and with a lot not any less followers than I had yesterday.
Jesus Christ. I want this game to exist right now. I just want this game to exist right now. So I can just be horrified that it exists.
The YouTube needs to cut to a Raid Shadow Legends ad.
Hey, now hold on. I'm sponsored by Raid, so let's just...
You're right. You're right. It should be someone else, like
This video is sponsored by
Raid. like maybe like like an energy drink company.
No,
maybe...
I got it. I got it. It's perfect. I'll be having a lot of sleepless nights lately. You won't be having a lot of sleepless nights if you get a brand new purple mattress. Use our code purple15 for 15% off your order.
And don't forget to get the energy that you need for your redemption. Get that G Fuel.
G Fuel.
White privilege card gives you bonuses. Oh.
Ooh.
We're treading dangerous waters there.
I think we'll keep that card in the writer's room and never release it.
That goes in the trunk. That's a trunk card.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brand, for sponsoring us through this troubled time. Brand has been the best. Thank you, Brand.
I mean, I'm just gonna put this in the chat if anybody wants to get it. This Red Shadow Legends Logistics that code right there.
Look,
about your boy. I'm just trying to get out.
Make your money, man. Make your money.
That's it for me, guys. I'll be back until you see me again. Use code NOTGUILTY to get 69% off G Fuel.
So that's how the game starts. With everybody doing an apology. Whoever's apology is the most believable gets to go first.
Yeah.
This is now just a game design stream. We love this.
And what? Depending on how many followers you have IRL on any chosen media, social media, for every 10,000, you get another retry on your apology.
Right, absolutely.
Makes you want to make fake apology videos. They're fun. They're fun to make.
Like, this is legitimately
This is legitimately a good idea.
Yes.
I hate it.
I hate it.
The more we talk through it, the more I go like, what if though? What if?
What if we actually do the thing?
I think I'm on board. I'm actually gonna start writing this.
Look, you've got that document I shared. I've been taking notes.
I'm gonna be writing.
I've been watching it.
I'm definitely gonna be writing in there because I'm just like, this is too much fun not to do.
Now we just need someone to do layout of the, design of the actual board game and the cards, and we'll need to find some fancy graphic that, brings it all together.
I can definitely do the graphic design for that. That's me.
Hey, perfect. We've already got a graphic designer on board.
I was here for the creation of Cancel. Start with rolling followers, and the number of followers you roll gives you certain bonuses. What is this even? Fine, I'll play that. Shut up, Hoosier. Oh wow, I actually want this to be. I want this to be. So yeah, we're gonna have to start working on this.
We're gonna be drunk for it.
Can you imagine just pulling out a box and it's just a white box with a red square on it and the words cancel?
Could look like one of those rubber stamps type of deal.
Yep.
Oh god, I gotta start working on the logo now.
Oh
Excellent. I look forward to scheduling some time with y'all in the next week or two to get blackout drunk and write this game.
You know what? Morning Ritual isn't even an interview show any longer. We just pitch ideas to people.
We're just a game design.
Oh, Francito Sado could do some editing. We're getting names from chat.
Leona Maple would probably be good to do some sensitivity rating for that. Absolutely.
True. Absolutely.
Game development stream.
Yeah. That's what we have become.
We'll make it happen.
I just love the idea of going, who wants to get canceled? Who wants to play cancel?
We have volunteers in chat already. We have playtesters. We have people who could write copy.
Can you imagine trying to explain this idea to somebody though? Like, okay, so you want a board game. That's about being canceled.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
me why
the premise.
this is a good idea.
I'm happy to write up ridiculous cards. This show has developed so many product ideas. We just don't usually act up. Well, we are halfway done with our Respect Whippling Juice mugs.
From last episode, I came up with that last week. or the other night. It was my late night hyper focus when I was procrastinating on other
So you
things.
can show the world
Nice.
that you're a himbo by drinking your daily dose of Respect Women juice.
That's good.
The link
That's
is in-
real good. I did see a question in chat a little while ago asking if we had to play this with an existing system right now. I think we already said that earlier. Like if we had to do like TTRPG, I think Masks with the different playbooks is maybe the way
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a PBTA game at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing that I would make the playbooks about is just like what your profession was that you got canceled from.
Right, and then
So
each of the actions are your different, attempts.
So in Masks, there's the Doomed playbook, which has a Doom track. You could use something, a mechanic like that is similar to mark the progress of your character development throughout the game.
It's actually my favorite playbook.
I played the Doom on our stream here.
Nice.
Mine is the Bull. The Bull is quite literally my favorite. And
Okay.
like I'm trying to think, how would I relate the Bull to canceling? And I think that the Bull, like, that would be somebody who is so irreverent that canceling doesn't really stick. It's like trying to cancel Howard Stern. Like,
right, it's their brand to
right.
be offensive.
Controversial.
Right.
So it's just like, what are you gonna be mad at me for? Because I've said at least 15 cancelable things since I started talking.
It's
No
the
fucking
power
shot.
through move.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, it reminds me of a certain former president.
right? Oh God, ew! I hate this. I feel icky.
Have a good stream, Michael. Have a good game.
Have a good one, buddy. Can you shotgun the Respect for Women juice, and can it become a sponsor for Campbell? We can always make a Respect Women juice flask, so you can have it wherever you go.
I'm already working on putting it on a mug.
Excellent. Next, you need shot glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a quick
Glassware.
shot of Respect Women juice. Yeah.
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 So I think we're actually drawing to the close of our show. I just looked at the time. And what a show it's been. I feel like we've got more out of this than the audience. And you know what? Sometimes it bees like that.
Sometimes you stream for your own benefit because it's good for you and what you need. And that's okay.
So with that said, thank you all for joining us on another episode of Morning Ritual. I've been one of your hosts, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as The Noir Enigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Later today, I'll be moderating for the Magpie designer convention that they're holding. And then after that, I'll be doing other things. It's none of your business. Leave me alone. I am hoping to be streaming tomorrow. I've got quite a few games that I want to stream. If you're not familiar, Control is actually free in the Epic Game Store right now, and it's a pretty fucking sick game. So highly recommend it. I think I saw CB playing it yesterday. I didn't stick around to watch for very long because it's a story-based game, and I didn't want to have that spoiled. But yeah, so be on the lookout for me on stream tomorrow. Anita, can you tell the people where they can find you, what you're up to, all that good stuff?
You can find me here. Mondays for Kingsguard, a Roll20 Spotlight game. Wednesdays for the game that I'm working on. Whenever I come up with a title and system and cast. You can find me here Fridays for System Crash, where we play a random TTRPG with no prep and no clue how. And then I'm going to be back here again for Morning Ritual. Next week, our guests are Austin, Knight, and Banana Chan.
Woo!
Yeah!
And finally, our amazing guest for today. Thank you very much for stopping by, Josh. Tell people where they can find you, what you're up to, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I am currently on a very small hiatus, streaming on my channel because I moved this past week, and all of my furniture is arriving in 3 hours. So, at that point, I'll have to take a little time to unpack and whatnot. But I do usually stream on my channel on Wednesdays and Sundays in the evenings, usually starting around 8 p.m. Central. I'm not on Central Time anymore, so around 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm getting used to my new time zone. You can catch me on the Rock Punch ATL Twitch channel on Fridays for the Tampo campaign that we do using the Islands of Sina Una supplement. Phenomenal time. You get to learn a whole lot about pre-colonial Filipino world. It's super cool. Beyond that, I've got some other things that I can't talk about yet. So just stay tuned on Twitter, and as I can announce things, I will announce things. My social media handles are all the same. It's Joshua M. Simons for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else there is. I don't know. I don't keep up.
All right.
We're going to go on a raid after this. We'll be raiding our friends over at Roll Together RPG, as we are a member of the Rolling Together stream team.
Right now they're doing their talk together with Liz Drake.
So we will pop over there and say hello. Thank you everyone for stopping by and hanging out and listening to us ramble and game design for a good portion of this episode. Thank you all so much, and Josh, thanks again for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Let's get canceled.